Okay, so what I've done, I have started from day number 1. Now, what I did was, instead of saying day number 1, I put lesson number 1. Here's why. Everybody's class is different, okay? Your teaching style is different than my teaching style, okay? One teacher might go through the mini lesson faster than another teacher, okay? So I just put lesson number 1 because you can take however many days it will take you to do lesson number 1, okay? It may take you 1 day. It may take you 3 days, okay? So you have to kind of judge your class. If you teach kindergarten, it'll take you more days. If you teach second grade, it'll take you less days, okay? So lesson number 1 is all about what can we write about, okay? So I use this mentor text. It's called I Love to Write, and it's by Roseanne Lancic Williams, okay? It's a small reading book, okay? You can order it online, or you can from Amazon or Lakeshore. And these little books are perfect for beginning writer's workshop because they're short and sweet, but they get to the point, okay? In your resource at the bottom, there is one that is called Writer's Workshop Anchor Charts, Interactive Anchor Charts. So all these anchor charts that I'm sharing with you, all these interactive notebooks that I'm sharing with you is all in the resource at the bottom, okay? So start looking at that and printing that out. So this is the anchor chart we're going to use. I'm going to set this up on my easel. I'm going to say, what can we write about? Okay, don't know where to start. Just write from your heart. And so I usually start out with asking the kids, what did you do this summer? Tell me what you did. They turn and tell each other. They turn and tell something that they did that was fun over the summer. Where did you go? What did you see? Who did you see? What did you eat? What activities did you do? Okay. Where did you go? Did you go in an RV? Did you go in an airplane? Did you go on a ship? Where did you go? Okay, so that kind of sparks some ideas in their head. And so what they're going to do, you're going to give them a Post-it note. You're going to sit on the carpet. You're going to have this anchor chart up on your easel. Everybody's going to have a Post-it note. And they are going to draw a picture of something that is special to their heart. Now, it can be something that they did over the summer. It can be their family. It can be their house. Can be their pets, whatever they want to draw, okay? And I already have examples on here for you. However, you are going to take the Post-it notes from the kids and you're going to post them on your heart on the anchor chart, okay? So you're going to cover up your own pictures with their pictures. That way it's more interactive and then they can call it their own, okay? Now, after you do that, first you're going to read the story. It's going to give examples in the story. Then or you could do the anchor chart first, whatever you want to do. And this is the I do part of the mini lesson, okay? And then the I do is the reading the mentor text. The we do is the anchor chart with the Post-it notes, okay? The you do is whenever you are going to have them create their own heart to put in their reader's notebook or their writing notebook, okay? So we're not going to be starting writing just yet. All we're doing is we're generating ideas, okay? Because sometimes for kids that have never done this before, it is very difficult for them to think of things to write about. So these first couple lessons are just generating ideas and getting them hooked into writing, okay? So they're going to get the interactive notebook. They're going to get the heart, and they can turn and tell. Before they go draw their pictures, they can turn and tell some more ideas to each other. Sometimes that's all it takes for their partner to tell them some ideas, and they're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And then they're going to draw it inside their heart, okay? Now, you can do this 2 different ways. You can have them glue in the anchor chart on the teacher side of your notebook right here. You can shrink it down and have them glue it in. And then on the other side, have the me side where they can do their heart. Okay, you can do it this way, or you don't have to do the teacher side at all, and you can just have them do their own page, okay? It really depends on how much time you have, okay? So this, like I said, this lesson may take you 1 day or 3 days, depending on your class, okay? This is lesson number 1, what can we write about? Lesson number 2 is what does our writing time look like? Okay, so you are setting the stage for how does your writer's block look like? What does it sound like? Okay, what is your expectations of your writer's workshop? Okay, you're going to read the author with the fancy purple pen. That's the I do. Okay. The we do, you're going to brainstorm ideas about what does writing time look like. Okay. Now you could have this anchor chart and then you could have blanks on here. If you want to redraw this and just have blanks and have the kids help you generate ideas that go inside of the bubbles. Okay. So this is what I did. This is what my class came up with. Get started right away. And of course, sometimes you have to prompt them a little bit. Okay. Write the whole time. Mrs. Rickman might have conferences during this time. You're going to work on your stamina, so you need to talk to them about what stamina is, okay? Starting at the smallest amount of time possible and then growing and growing and growing, so you're being able to write longer times. And by the end of the year, you're going to be able to write at least 30 to 45 minutes long, okay? But that's your goal, and you can track it if you want to track your minutes every day, okay? And see how they do. You're going to write quietly. This is complete quiet time. I always say writing time is, and then they respond silent time. Okay, we always say that before we start our writer's workshop. You're going to stay in one spot. You're not moving around unless you are coming up to Miss Rickman's table or you are student conferencing with somebody on the carpet. So after you brainstorm your anchor chart, that's the we do. Then the you do is you're going to give them these templates. So if you're in kindergarten, you could have them just draw pictures. Okay, you're going to give them this one right here. They're going to draw pictures of what it looks like to be to do the writing time. Okay, sitting in a desk, sitting with a lap book, talking to Miss Rickman. Okay, using a pencil, using paper, thinking of ideas, whatever you want them to draw. Okay, or if you're teaching second grade, you can have them write sentences about what's expected of them. So this may take you 1 day or it may take you 3 days. Okay, lesson number 3. Okay, so the I do of this is you're going to read Cat Can't Write. Again, it's by Roseanne Lansing Williams. This is the same author. So this is going to be a little bit more of what happens if you cannot think of something to write about. What can you use? What kind of tool or resource can we use? Guess what, boys and girls? We can use a dictionary. Does anybody know what a dictionary is? So you're going to show them this anchor chart of what a dictionary is. You're going to tell them this is going to be your best friend all year long. This is going to help you become a great writer. It's going to help you with ideas. It's going to help you with spelling. Okay. It's going to have color words. It's going to have animal words. It's going to have your family words. It's going to have number words, holiday words. And best of all, Miss Rickman can even write words in the dictionary for you if you don't know how to spell a word. Let's say if you want to spell the word vacation and you don't know how to spell vacation. Well, guess what? Miss Rickman can write it for you in your dictionary. This is going to be your own personal dictionary. Oh my gosh, you got to really sell this, okay? You got to be so excited about this. So you can do 2 things. For the you do, you can give them their dictionary, and you should probably already have these copied. So this is one of the on the list that I said to copy, okay, from the previous module. You're going to have dictionaries. They're going to color the cover. They're going to write their name on it. Okay, and that's all they're going to do. They do not need to color all the inside of the dictionary because that's strictly for writing words, okay? But you want them to color the cover to make it nice and pretty, okay, and special to them, so it's personal to them. So you could have them do that for the you do part. Or you can have them for the second day of this lesson, you can have them write about what's inside of a dictionary. So you can have them you can color this picture of the little boy with the book, the dictionary, and then you can have them glue on these words, alphabetical order, verbs, nouns, adjectives around the boy or around the girl. And so they can glue this in their writer's notebook, okay? So depending on how much time you have, you can just have them color the dictionary, or you could have them do the interactive notebook, or you could have them do both. If you want to spread this out into 2 days or 3 days, that's up to you. Okay? Lesson number 4. This is really fun. What is an author and an illustrator? Okay, so you're going to read Little Monster Becomes an Author by Roseanne Lansing Williams. And you're going to show these charts, these skill cards. They're in the resource at the bottom where it says the Writer's Workshop Interactive Notebooks. At the very end of the resource, these are there. These are posters that you can copy on colored paper, laminate them, put them on your pocket chart, okay? And so this is kind of where your reader's workshop and your writer's workshop kind of go hand in hand. So let's say that you want to do an author study at the beginning of the year about Kevin Hincks, Kevin Henkes, whatever you want to say it. So you can show them this picture of Kevin Henkes here and Laura Numeroff and say, oh, these authors look familiar. Do you remember when we read Wimberly Worried? Do you remember when we read If You Give a Dog a Donut? Hey, guess what? These are the authors that wrote those stories. And you've already read these stories. Aren't they fun? Aren't they exciting? Aren't they interesting? So you're going to tell them it's somebody who writes a story and publishes it for an audience to read and enjoy. And then you can talk about what publishing means, okay? How long does it take for an author to write a story? It may take them years to write a story, okay? That's just what they do, and this is their job. That's what they do for a living. And then you can talk about illustrators. What's an illustrator? Boys and girls, does anybody know what that means? Well, it's somebody who draws and paints pictures for a story that's going to be published. Sometimes it may take them a year or two to get the pictures just right for the story. So examples of illustrators can be Jan Brett, Gail Gibbons, Tommy DePaula, Eric Carle, all different kinds of authors. But these are the ones that I put in the resource for you. So then for the We Do, you can discuss those together. They can turn and tell each other what an author is. They can turn and tell each other what an illustrator is. And then for the You Do part, you're going to give them these interactive notebooks. What is an illustrator, an author and an illustrator? And then they're going to draw themselves as an author, draw themselves as an illustrator. Okay? They can color it, cut it out, and glue it in their writer's notebook. So again, this may take you 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Okay? Depending on how fast your kiddos work, depending on how long your writing block is and how much time you've set aside for this. Okay? Lesson number 5, creating mental images. So for the I Do, you're going to read Harold and the Purple Crayon. I love Harold. He's one of my favorite stories. This is great for creating mental images. Okay? So first you're going to ask your kiddos, how many of you have ever made a magic movie in your mind from a story? Have you ever read a story that didn't have any pictures? Have you ever made a magic movie? And so you might want to say, when Miss Rickman reads Magic Treehouse, have you noticed that there's not many pictures? And you have to kind of think of it in your head. Well, guess what? You are creating a mental image in your mind. You are visualizing the story in your head, okay? Sometimes it matches what the picture is and sometimes it doesn't, but that's okay. You are creating the story in your head. So you're making a magic movie. And so you're going to show them the anchor chart. And you're going to say visualizing is we make pictures in our mind based on what we read or what we're told, okay? And so if I say it was a beautiful day at the beach, you have them close their eyes. And you say it was a beautiful day at the beach. And they're going to visualize that in their head, okay? And you can even turn this anchor chart around so they don't see the picture. They're going to see it in their head. And then you're going to turn it around and say, hey, did your mental image match my picture? Or you can even have them draw their mental image on their interactive notebook. So what you would do for the You Do or the We Do, you could do We Do as well. You could give them a Post-it note to draw a picture of their mental image. They can sit with their clipboard and their pencil on the carpet, give them the Post-it note. They can draw a picture of their mental image, and then you can give them this interactive notebook. It says, what is your mental image right here? They're going to draw their mental image inside of the bubble, and then they're going to glue it inside of their reader's notebook or their writer's notebook. Okay? My reader's and my writer's notebook are together, and I call it my schema notebook. Okay? So this is a really, really fun lesson. When you read Harold and the Purple Crayon, you're going to talk about imagination. What is an imagination? What does that mean? What does it mean to be creative? Okay? Harold always has something to draw. He always has a mental image in his mind. He's always ahead of the game. He always knows what he's going to go to. Okay? Sometimes when he gets stuck, he just keeps going. Okay? He perseveres and he doesn't give up. Okay? So that's a really good lesson for creating mental images. Lesson number 6. Let me get a drink. Okay, so this is introduction into tiny moment stories. So if you're familiar with Lucy Calkins has a writing curriculum, and inside her curriculum there is a section called Small Moments. If you ever have read her writing curriculum, you're familiar with that book, Small Moments. So I've kind of tweaked that a little bit, and I call it Tiny Moments, okay? So you're going to read this story called Special Memories, okay, by Roseanne Lansick Williams. You're going to talk about what is a special memory. What kind of memory have you had before? Is it a good memory? Is it a sad memory? Is it a happy memory? Okay, so talk about different kinds of memories. What kind of memories have you had? They can turn and tell each other, okay? Turn and tell their memory. So you're going to show them this skill card. What is a tiny moment? A tiny moment is a special event in your life that took place. It is a snapshot and is only a short period of time. Now, if you have a camera, I mean, not your phone, but if you have a camera, you might want to bring your camera and ask them what that is. What is a camera? What does it do? Well, it takes pictures. Are the pictures, are they moving or are they still? No, they're still. Okay, so a tiny moment is a snapshot. It's one moment of your life, okay? It doesn't last over several days. It lasts in one moment. So I make an example for myself. I talk about my horse, Casey. And so on the smartboard, I talk about how I ride my horse, Casey, and I put a saddle on him, and I clean his hooves, and I brush him, and put all the different tack on him and everything. So I do this as a whole group, and I tell them, this is my tiny moment story. This is the story that I am going to write about. This is what my special memory of my horse is, okay? So then from there, they're going to think about their own tiny moment. And they're going to get this heart template right here. It's got a heart in the middle, and it's got 4 circles around the side, and they're going to write some details about it. Now, this is where they have to use their dictionary, okay? They should have already had their dictionary. They can keep it at their desk or whatever you want to keep them. You haven't handed out their writing folders just yet, okay? So they can keep their dictionary in their supply box or wherever you have their supplies. So they're going to get out their dictionary, and they're going to think of their first tiny moment story, their special memory, and they're going to illustrate it in the heart, and then they're going to write the details about it. Now, this lesson will take you many days, okay? There are going to be some kids that are going to need a lot of help, okay? I won't lie to you. I mean, I've had those writers, those kids that just sit there and they look around, they're staring at the ceiling. They might be crying. They're very upset because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to write. They've never done this before. On the other hand, you're going to have some kids that are just going to take off with this. They're going to take off and they're going to love it, okay? So you're going to tell the kids, I'm going to sit at my teacher table while you guys are writing, okay? We're going to have our desk contest on. It's going to be quiet. I'm going to have the music playing, and you're going to be listening to the music so it helps you write, okay? Because authors need quiet time. I'm going to be sitting at my teacher table. Anytime you have a question, you're going to raise your hand, and I'm going to call you up to my table. But don't come up to my table without raising your hand, okay? And if they do that, I have them owe me a bonus book, okay? So if they need a word spelled in their dictionary, they're going to bring their dictionary up to my table. They're going to open the dictionary up to the right page. Okay, they're not just going to hand the dictionary to me and say, can you please spell vacation? I'm going to say, no, you got to find the first letter that it starts with. Now, if you teach kindergarten and they don't know the letters yet, you can find it for them. That is perfectly fine. But if you teach first grade or second grade, they need to find the page for you. Okay, so, and it also helps with alphabetical order. They've got to know that. Okay, so you write the word for them, and they can go back to their desk, and then they can keep writing. Okay, so anytime that they need help, they can raise their hand and come talk to you at the teacher table. And I only spend like 30 seconds with each kid. You know, I don't spend a whole lot of time with each kid because you're going to have hands up. quite a lot at the beginning. And as the year goes on, you're not going to have as many hands up at the same time. Okay, it's going to slow down. Okay, because they're going to be more independent. But at the beginning, it's going to be a little crazy. I'll be honest with you. Okay, so get them in, get them out quickly, about 30 seconds or less, and get them back to their desk so you can call another kid. Okay, don't get bogged down in trying to give them more than one task to do at a time. Guys, this is really important. Give them one task. Okay, I want you to go write this word in your story. One task. Okay, I want you to go draw this picture. One task. Okay, that's it. Okay, and then they can raise their hand again. But you got to get through all the kids that have their hands up. It's just like a revolving door. Okay, this is going to take you maybe a week to do this lesson. Okay, you can read a lot of different kinds of stories that have tiny moment stories. You can read Roller Coaster is a really good one. I have all of these are listed in your mentor text resource. Okay, there it's at the bottom too. All right, lesson number 7, organizing more ideas, getting more ideas. How can we get more ideas from just thinking? What if we can't think of something? What if we have to have a trigger? We have to see something. So you're going to read when you go walking. Boys and girls, how many of you have ever gone on a walk? Everybody's going to raise their hand. Okay. What kinds of things do you see when you go walking? Oh, we see a park, or we see dogs, or we see birds, or we might see a creek, might see a school. Okay, that's great. So if you're not writing at all and you have writer's block and you need an idea, maybe we should try to take a walk. That would be a great idea. So guess what? Today, boys and girls, we're going to take a walk around the school. And you can take your kids and you can go out through the hallway. You can go outside, walk around the school. They're going to have their clipboard. They're going to have their page that says, My Writing Walk. Okay? This can be a part of the we do part. Okay? After you do the story, then you're going to do the we do. And even the teacher, you can even make your own list as well. You're going to write down a list too, because then you're going to share your list with the class. And then the kids are going to share their list with each other when they get back. Now, if you're in kindergarten and they can't write yet, just have them draw a picture next to the number. If they see a bird, have them draw a picture next to number 1. If they see a creek, have them draw a creek next to number 2. Whatever they want to draw, it is perfectly fine, okay? So then when you come back to the room, we're going to share. What kinds of things did we see on our writing walk? What did we see? Did you get some ideas? Okay. Maybe it sparked an idea or a memory that you had that you forgot about. If you saw a creek, maybe you forgot that you went fishing with your grandpa. Or if you saw a dog running around by someone's house, maybe it'll spark a memory with you and your dog when y'all went walking. Okay, or you went swimming with your dog. Anything like that, just to get a little trigger in their head about getting more ideas. It's really fun. And it's also really fun for them to get outside and be around in nature and kind of walk around and get ideas. Just something different, okay? Something fun. So when you get back and you're after you finish sharing your list, this is when you're going to hand out their writing folder and you're going to say, okay, all of your ideas are now going to be in your writing folder. So you should already have the writing folder set up. You're going to have the genre chart in the middle of the writing folder, okay? You're going to have their name on the front of the writing folder. And you're going to tell them, boys and girls, these folders have to stay in a very safe place because when authors write, they have to keep their story away from everything else so it doesn't get torn, it doesn't get broken or bruised, or it doesn't get messed up. Okay, so we're going to keep our writing folders in this very special bin, very special box, okay? And usually I keep my box under my teacher's chair, my teacher chair, okay? So then I hand out the folders to them, and then they put the folders back in the box, okay? I do not let them have their folders at their desk. I don't keep them there. I just keep them under my chair. Okay, then you're going to tell them your dictionary that you have, now your dictionary is going to go in this folder. And my writing folders are all purple. So I say, the purple folder is your writing folder, so you're going to put all your dictionaries in there. Your writing walk that you made today is going to go in your folder, okay? Your tiny moment heart that you made from yesterday is going to go in your writing folder. So now we're going to keep all of our writing templates in our folder, so they're all going to be kept in a safe place, okay? All right, so then they can keep writing. They can keep working on their heart right here for the you do part. They can keep writing their sentences, okay? And then lesson number 8, introducing beginning, middle, and end. Okay, so you're going to read Rocket Writes a Story. I love Rocket. He's so sweet, so cute. And in the story, Rocket has writer's block, and he doesn't know what to write about. But the little, the bird in the story is going to help him generate his story from beginning and middle and end. So you're going to show them this anchor chart. Tell them what beginning, middle, and end means. And you're going to say, boys and girls, have you ever been to a movie? Oh, yes, we've been to a movie. Okay. Does the movie start at the very end? No. Well, why not? Well, because that's the end. I mean, we don't know what happens at the beginning. Oh, so do you think a story needs to start from the beginning for you to understand the story? Yes. Okay, so you kind of have to relate it a little bit to movies or TV shows a little bit, okay? So when you go see a movie, the movie has to start from the beginning so you understand what happens. Beginning, middle, and end. It goes in order. It doesn't go backwards, okay? So the beginning, you would see like who the characters are. You would see the setting, okay? The middle, you can kind of see what happens as a problem. There's going to be a problem with the characters, okay? And at the end, the characters are going to solve their problem, and maybe the characters have changed in the story. So then you're going to talk about how Rocket has changed from beginning to end. You're going to talk about what his problem was. Oh, he had writer's block. Okay, well, how did he overcome his problem? What did he do? What happened with the bird? At the beginning, you're going to say, okay, here are the characters. Where's the setting? And you're going to have to prompt them a little bit. So then you're going to have them start their first beginning, middle, and end story. Okay? Now, this is after they've already done their heart and their 4 details. Okay? They're going to take that story. Now they're going to put it in order. Okay? They're going to draw beginning, middle, and end. Okay? Now, if they only get to the pictures on the first day, that is okay. Okay? This may take you a week. Okay? The first day, they can just draw the pictures. The second day, they can continue drawing the pictures. They can start writing their sentences. They're going to use their dictionary. Okay? They're going to raise their hand when they're writing, and you're going to sit at your teacher table. Now, if you don't want to sit at your teacher table and you want to walk around in conference, that is perfectly fine. That just doesn't work for me. I like to sit. I think it's more distracting, actually. If I walk around and I'm talking to all the kids, I'm distracting the kid beside the person I'm talking to, and they're getting distracted and they can't work. So in order to make a more perfect, quiet environment, atmosphere, I just have them come up to my table. It's a lot easier for me, but you can do however you want. Okay? This will take you 5 days or more, okay? And when they finish one story, they're going to immediately start a new one, okay? They're never done. They're never, ever done. They're never going to say, I'm done. You're going to say, okay, now let's start a new one. Now you're going to think of another topic that you're going to write about, okay? Now, after a couple of days of doing that, you might have kids that, I don't know, write 4 or 5 different stories. That's fine. That's great. Now you're going to talk about the tiny moment and how it is more of a detail. So you're going to read Watermelon Day by Kathy Apelt. And you're going to talk about the big topic, the smaller topic, and the tiny moments, okay? So in the story, there is a part where Jessie, the girl, eats her watermelon. She's waited for days and days and days for her watermelon to get juicy and get ripe. So after her dad cuts the watermelon, she finally gets to eat it. And so there's a part that says, the juice dripped down her chin, onto her neck, and on her toes. Oh my gosh, I love that part. So after I read the story, I go back to that part and I read it again. And I ask the kids, did this part happen in a tiny moment, in one snapshot of her life, or did it happen over several days? No, it happened in one moment. Okay, well, guess what? That is a tiny moment of her life. Okay? So if Jessie were to write a story about her tiny moment, she would write about the juice dripping down her face, dripping down her neck, and onto her toes. Okay? You're going to show them this anchor chart. You're going to say, the big topic of the story was, one day there was a watermelon in the garden. Okay, that's the big topic. Now we're going to take that topic and we're going to make it smaller. I went into the garden and picked a bright green juicy one. Okay, that's what Jessie did in the story. And then let's make it even smaller. And I said, I cut open the watermelon and sweet juice ran down my chin as I ate it. Okay, so we're going from big to small to tiny. And then what they're going to do is write those sentences onto their interactive notebook right here. Okay, you can give them the skill card or the anchor chart and they can glue it down on the teacher side, and then they can glue their other interactive notebook on their me side, or you don't have to do the anchor chart at all and just do the me side. Okay, so here's a picture of my students cutting out their interactive notebook and then gluing it in their notebook here. So another great thing to do, an extension with this, is also give the kids a watermelon to eat. Okay, go to the store and go to the deli section and get the pre-cut watermelon in a package. And as they're writing this story, give them a piece of watermelon to eat. It's going to make a great connection with them. They're going to understand. When they eat it, they're going to understand the juice coming out. They're going to understand how Jessie felt in the story. And they're just going to make so many great connections with it, okay? So, and you can always refer back to this anchor chart as you need to, okay? If you notice that their writing is getting really big off topic again, you could say, hey, guys, remember the small topic, the tiny moment. Remember, we're going to write more details, one snapshot of your life, okay? All right, so then I talk about, what does publishing mean? Because they don't know what publishing means at all. They may not know this. So you're going to tell them, when you finish your story, you're going to copy your story onto a template, a writing template that looks like this. You're going to draw a picture at the top, and then you're going to write one sentence at the bottom. Or you could have them do 3 or 4 sentences. It's up to you, okay? And they might have 3 or 4 pages for their book, okay? You're going to get to publish your first Writer's Workshop book, and then you get to share it with the class, okay? So then I have an example, and I wrote my story about Casey and me, about my horse, okay? So, and I show them this gold sticker right here, and I tell them this is their Caldecott Award, and when you publish, you get to ring a bell. Everybody's going to clap for you, and then you get a gold sticker. And this is your Caldecott Award. So you get to read your story in the author's chair. So here's one of my students reading his story. This was his very first story he ever published, and it's very, very exciting for 2 reasons. It's exciting for the child that published, and they feel so proud. They feel so accomplished. They feel energized. They feel excited. They feel motivated about being an author. And then for the other kids that are sitting on the carpet, they're looking at the story and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I want to do that. That is so awesome. I want to sit in the author's chair and I want to read my book to the class. So this also helps those reluctant writers as well. Okay, if they're still struggling, they're still having writer's block, and you're still having a conference with them like every single day. Okay, so this might light a fire under them. Okay, and get them to write and be successful. Just all it takes is just one person, the first person who publishes, the first person who gets to sit in that author's chair. You better believe the rest of the class is going to get going, because they want to do that too, okay? Now they understand, oh, that's what I'm going to do when I finish my story. So this is like the foundation. You're building the foundation of the whole Writer's Workshop block for the whole entire year, okay? It's very exciting, very exciting. So I read my story to them as a you do, and you can make your own story. You take your own tiny moment that you like, you write it into a book, and you use that same templates that they would, okay? Like I did right here at the bottom here. And you make it into a book and you read it to them. And you say, this is what it's going to look like. This is my example, but now you're going to make your own example. Okay. Now, if they have, let's say they have 5 pages of their beginning, middle, and end. They have 5 different stories. Then you can say, okay, well, you're going to pick your favorite one to publish. Okay. So you can pick any one you want to, any 5 that whatever your favorite is, and then you're going to start writing your final draft here. Take that story and you're going to draw a picture at the top, write one sentence at the bottom, and then we're going to see how many sentences you have. If they have 5 sentences, they have 5 pages. If they have 10 sentences, they have 10 pages, okay? Then they get to illustrate the cover of the book. You can use construction paper or you can use cardstock, whatever you want to do. It's very, very exciting. So after you do this, this is going to set the foundation for the rest of the year. So what happens now? Once students have published their Tiny Moment story, they will immediately start a new one. They will continue to write as many stories as they can during this time frame. They may publish 1 to 3 stories, depending on how fast they go through the writing process. You will have students on different steps, and that is great because that is what you want. You don't want everybody on the same step. You want everybody on a different step, okay? So you are teaching them about the I do, the we do, and the you do, about the gradual release of responsibility. When your personal narrative unit is over, you will introduce all of these steps for the writing process. That means you're going to introduce brainstorming, first draft, student conference, proofreading, teacher conference, editing, revision, final draft, publishing. There's 8 different steps that we went over in the previous modules. That's when you introduce that poster. And so now they have an idea of what the steps look like. They're going to move their sticks down whenever you tell them to. Now they have free choice of topics. They have free choice of genre. This is where the workshop really takes off. And the best part is it differentiates itself. Every student is writing on their own level and is engaged and excited about writing. And guess what? You're excited too because you're like, the hard part is done. Okay, I have set the rules and foundations. Now the workshop can run itself. Now, granted, you're still going to have kids that raise their hand every 5 seconds that need you, okay? Now, your job for the rest of the year is trying to wean them off of you, okay? It's going to be hard. I know. It's going to be hard. Remember, you're having a revolving door at your teacher table, okay? Only 30 seconds worth of conferencing, and then you send them back. Give them one topic, one thing to do at a time, okay? Now, if you have a big class, you're going to have to move faster through the conferencing. If you have a smaller class, you may be able to spend more time with each kid, okay? I love having smaller classes. If I have 18 kids, I can spend more time with each kid. If I have 21 kids or 22 kids, it's a little bit harder. But you're just going to have to watch your time, use your timer, set a timer for each kid. Okay, you have 30 seconds right here. When the timer goes off, use one of those sand timers that you can turn and then time each kid so you can keep track of the time.